Hi everyone. Okay, Elizabeth Chritton here. And are you struggling with goals in your business? Like there's something you want to get done, but you're having a hard time getting from here to there, or you start and stop and start and stop, right? It's just moving too slow. I have found over all the years the fastest way to finish what you want to do is to get an accountability partner. Now, what do I mean by that, right? Let's face it, as entrepreneurs, it's lonely. I mean, you are a business of one many times, or even if you have employees, you're at the top of the pyramid. You don't have coworkers to hash out your day, and you don't have a boss telling you what to do. And while on the one hand, that can be great, on the other hand, you don't have anyone telling you what to do. So it can be easy to just kind of let some things slide. So what you do with an accountability partner is you bring in a little bit of the office, right? So once a week you meet up and you're like, well, this is how last week went. This is how it's going. And these are things I might do different, that kind of thing, right? And there are 3 important things to know when working with an accountability partner to make it work, because I know people have tried and it was like, well, that stank. 3 things to know. Before I get to those, who am I? I'll tell you in 3 sentences. My name is Elizabeth Chritton, and I'm a woman who went from being a mom on welfare to selling millions in business as an entrepreneur. And my first book, From Knocking on Doors to Making Millions, it helps people in direct sales grow and market and increase their business. My second book, which is yet to be named, I'm helping people from all backgrounds in business take their goal and create a compelling action plan to move their business forward. Hence, that's why part of what I'm doing is this video on accountability partners. So the 3 things you need to know, and I'm going to go over them in detail. 1, how to find the right one for you. There's a lot of great people out there who would be great accountability partners, but which one's right for you? 2, how to work with them once you've got them to make the most out of it. And 3, when to let them go. Because this, if you want someone for 10 years, that's a coach. An accountability partner doesn't normally last that long, and I'll get to that. So 1, where are you going to find a perfect accountability partner? Okay, first of all, you want to look in like-minded groups, right? So I'm going to do some kind of like weight loss analogies here, okay? So let's say you're in Weight Watchers, and by the way, we all know in Weight Watchers that they're perfect for accountability, right? I mean, you work everything you can do, and then you come in once a week and you step on that scale, and the person that's reading the numbers either goes, great job, or, tell me about last week, how'd that go? That's what we get out of this. But how do you find the right one for you? So let's say you're someone trying to lose weight, right? Look for someone in a like-minded group. Look for someone who most likely has a similar goal. If you're in Weight Watchers and you ask someone, you're like, hey, I love this group thing, but I'm looking for like a one-on-one accountability partner. Would you be okay teaming up? You're more likely to get a yes than a no, because everyone there has the same goal. Whereas if you're hanging out with your friends who like to knit, and you kind of go over to someone that probably looks like they need to lose weight and say, hey, Rebecca, you want to be a one-on-one accountability partner with me so we can lose weight? You might get stabbed with a knitting needle, right? So look in like-minded places. And that's the same for business. So let's say you make your grandma's barbecue sauce, or you have an in-home daycare, or you work in direct sales. Whatever your business is, find groups where other people are doing the same thing-ish, mostly, and see if one of them would like to team up with you. So find like-minded people. 2, you want to be kind of apples to apples, right? So if we were going to do the weight loss scenario, you might say, yeah, I'd love to. Turns out they're a vegan, which is great and amazing, and you're a carnivore, which is also great and amazing, right? But you might have a hard time once a week where you're telling your partner about all the animals you ate, and then they start crying, and it's a hot mess, right? So you want to find someone who has the same goal, but is going about it about the same way-ish, right? So in business, what that might look like, let's say you have someone who, you're like, I want to increase my bottom line. I need more money at the end of every month. And they're like, oh my God, I need more money at the end of every month. Let's do this. And it turns out that you plan on doing that by doubling your customer base, or offering new levels of service so that people upgrade and they spend more when they come visit you. Whereas your accountability partner is like, well, I kind of have that maxed out of what I can handle with clients. So what I'm going to do is go through my budget and kind of snip, cut back, see what I can get rid of, see if I can get the same quality products to use with my customers at a cheaper price. And so it just has a different feel, right? So when you come to meet, you're like, I grew, and they're like, I cut. And maybe you met the same goal for the same bottom line at the end of the time period, but it's just a different energy because one of you is growing and one of you is cutting, even if you get the same results. So a like-minded person that has the same kind of goal, and then someone who's kind of going about it the same way. Then the next one to think about to find the right kind of partner for you is to look for someone that has the same size of goal. Okay? And what I mean by that, let's go back to the weight loss analogy, and you're in a Facebook group for vegans who want to lose weight, right? And so someone's got the same sense of humor as you, they're also into knitting, whatever, and you're like, hey, would you like to be an accountability partner? I'm a vegan that wants to lose weight. And she's like, how about that? We're in the same group, vegans who want to lose weight. Let's do this. And so you meet, and she's like, well, I have like 5 more pounds, and it's just gonna shake me just right. And I've been stuck for like 3 months, and I want to lose these last 5 pounds. And you're like, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. I have 150 to lose to get to my goal. And while, let's be honest, we all know that those last 5 pounds are really hard. And we all know it's really hard when you're starting with 150 pounds to lose. But those are different size goals. Like, well, literally in weight loss. But like, let's say in business. Okay, let's do a direct sales example for this one. So let's say you're both into team. I want to make more money. Me too. I want to build my team. Me too. So you're both in direct sales. You both want to grow money, or make more money, and you both want to grow your team. Wonderful. So you get together and you're like, okay, so I've been kind of playing around with this for like about a year now, and I've gotten to the point where like I'll sign up 3 or 4 people, and I only sign 1 person the next month, and then 8 people. I want to consistently sign up 10 new team members a month. I need to develop my systems and processes. I need to consistently sign up 10 people a month. And then your partner's like, well, that's a really great goal. That is a great start. Proud of you. So what I'm doing is normally I have about 50 people sign up a month, between me and my team. I mean, I always do 10 a month. I've done that for years because that's just, I want to be accountable to my team. But I'm trying to inject this, excitement into my team, and we're doing 50 a month mostly, and I want, like, in the next quarter to get up to 75. In the next quarter I want to consistently have 100 people between me and my team signed up every month. So you're like-minded people. You have the same goal, kind of goal. You're doing this it the same kind of way, but it's different sizes, and it's just gonna feel different when you get on the calls. That's 3. And don't worry, in just a moment I'm going to tell you the fastest way to find the right person, okay? Because these are a lot of things to think about. I'm going to make it simple. It's going to come down to simple. But the 4th thing to think about when you're trying to find the better for you accountability partner would be to get someone who's going to put the same amount of hours or like the same amount of effort into what they're doing, right? So in a weight loss analogy, you might get someone who's a vegan, who wants to lose weight. You both have 75 pounds to lose to get to goal. It's like, yay! And so you get together, and she's like, well, life is really busy right now, so I'm going to cut out the Diet Coke and, kind of add more of this kind of vegetable or whatever. Maybe I'll cut out some of my nightly dessert. I'll stop eating at 8 p.m. Okay, and you're like, well, I did that months ago. Right now, I'm determined I will home cook each of my 3 meals and my 2 snacks a day. And I've been going to the gym 3 times a week, but now I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week. You're going to be putting in a lot of hours and a lot of effort. A lot more effort and a lot more hours. Even though you have the same global goal, you're going about it kind of the same way. You have the same size goal, but the amount of effort and the size of it, or I mean, the size is the same, but the level of effort and the level of hours you're about to put in, they're different. So let me give you an example with business, because I have been on both sides of this, and it's a little uncomfortable when they're miles apart. You know, even if they're close-ish, closer, it's easier, right? So, yeah, I'm giving extreme examples, but you can be closer, just not this far apart. So in business, what happened to me when I was in the 2 different extremes, I had one accountability partner where we were both kind of in a startup phase-ish, but she had a full-time job. So she worked 5, maybe up to 10 hours a week on her business. She might make a few phone calls during the week or do a few things at night, maybe spend a couple hours on Saturday, you know, and talk to me on Sunday. I had a store I was running, so that took about 25, 30 hours a week of work at the time. So I put in 20, 30 hours a week. I would work, you know, take 2 days and work those 2 days, work a Saturday. I just had tons of to-dos. And so we would get together and we're in the same place, same goal, same size. And yet on her end, it was like, well, I made a call, but didn't get back to him, so I'll try next week. And, you know, I'm going to look into this one thing. I didn't get to the other thing, but it was that size. And I'm like, well, I couldn't get him on Monday, but I tried on Wednesday, got him, you know, this kind of, like, I had this long list of all of these different things. It's the difference between someone, even if you're both trying to get to a finish line, one of you is moving at this pace with that level of effort, and one of you is moving like this, it just feels different and a little bit awkward on the calls. When I finished with that accountability partner and started up with another one, I was in a program where we all were switching up accountability partners ever so often. Oh, this was her full-time job. She woke up early every morning. I think she just basically stopped for dinner and got back to work. She had 2 assistants. Her partner had been helping her, but he needed to work more on his business, so he cut out. She was overwhelmed. She could literally not have told me everything that she wanted to do that week. It wouldn't have been possible. She's like, all of these things are going to happen whether I want them or not. They're moving bullets. They're moving trains. You can't stop them. I will do the work associated with them. But why don't you just hold me accountable for these 3 things that I keep putting off and forgetting because I don't want to do them. So just hold me accountable for those 3 things. And I'm like, okay, so just hold me accountable for everything I'm going to do this week because that's all I got to offer. I mean, in 2 days, she was doing what I did in a week because she was working so hard. So those 4 things, like-minded places, same kind of way they're going to go about it, the same size of goal, and that they're putting a similar amount of hours or similar amount of effort into it. So the fastest way, the best way to make sure you get the right kind of accountability partner for you, state what you're doing up front. I mean, when you're weight loss, you're walking up to someone in Weight Watchers and you're like, hey, I thought I heard you say you were a vegan. I'm a vegan too. I'm trying to lose about 75 pounds and I'm going to do this by making my own meals and increase the time at the gym about 5 times a week. Would you like to be an accountability partner with me? And she's like, oh my God, I have 60 pounds to lose and I already go to the gym 5 times a week, but I'm trying to like cook my own food. That's great. Like, cause you have the same global goal, the same way you're going about it, pretty close in size, and you're both going to be doing the same places. Maybe you already cook your food, but you want to add the gym, and she already goes to the gym, but she wants to add her food. You're a good match because you're going about it the same way. You're putting in about the same amount of effort. that's a good match. Same with business, right? So let's say, just kind of going off the last example, let's say you're with company XYZ. And you're like, well, I'm with company XYZ, and I want to double my team from 75 reps to 150 reps, representatives, in the next 4 months. Or even better, like a lot of the direct sales companies have like cruises or trips or prizes you can win. And so you could be like, hey, because you're in a group with company XYZ, I'm a double star gold plated platinum. And to earn this cruise, I need to be a quadruple star gold plated platinum. And someone's like, oh, I'm a double star gold plated platinum. I want to win the cruise too. I want to double. And it's about team size, not sales, because there's 2 different ways to make money in direct sales. So you're going about the same way. You have the same goal. That's great. Even if your team sizes are different, according to the company, you're both double star gold plated platinum. So find someone who's close in all those 4 ways. All right. The second, and you know what? These last 2, they're going to go fast. I know I've been talking a long time, but the next 2 ways to make it work, they're going to go quick. So the second way, once you found him, you're like, oh my God, my twin from another mother. Perfect. You found your partner. The second thing is you need to know is how to work with them. So you're going to meet once in an initial meeting where you kind of set everything up and you kind of bare your souls a little bit and you talk about your goals and what's been going on and why you just haven't gotten there, or why, things that might get in the way. So they really understand who they're dealing with and you understand who you are dealing with. That'll take about an hour. I've got a great worksheet for that to walk you through it, and that'll be in the link. And then after that, that'll be about an hour. Then after that, you're going to meet about once a week. That's what I recommend. If you find a better time frame for you and your partner, you're welcome to amend it. We meet about once a week, and that call will last 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how much you have to talk about, right? But that's just, you kind of go over things, plan for the next week. I've got a perfect worksheet for that, because really your initial meeting and the following meetings are, they're different. So both of those worksheets are available. You can get them right now. Click on the link. Easy peasy mac and cheesy, okay? The one thing I want to mention that's not on the worksheets, when you're meeting, is no coaching. This isn't a coaching call. This is an accountability call. No coaching allowed. And I mean asking or giving, right? So if you're on a coaching call and the person's like, well, okay, so next week, or maybe they're like, last week I did this thing and it didn't really work out and I was doing it XYZ this way. And you're like, oh my God, you know what you need to do to like make that goal happen next week? You totally need to do this thing. Okay, that's coaching and you need to cut it out. You didn't even ask her, So if you go through all the coaching training, there's hours, there's a whole week of coaching training you could go through. And if you haven't been through it, don't coach. What's okay to do is to say, I heard someone else that did that. Would you like to hear, and they were successful with it. Would you like to hear what they did? Or, I've been in that same place and I found a way around it. Would you like to hear what worked for me? And if they're like, no, I got it, then don't tell them, okay? Because everyone's lives are so different. Just because something worked for you doesn't mean it's going to work for them, okay? So we don't tell people what to do, but we can offer what you heard someone else do. And then, if you tell them like, oh my God, this worked I was there, it worked for me. Would you like to hear what worked for me? And they're like, yeah. So you can tell them. And then they have it. And like my mom said, when you give people a gift, then they own it. And you have no business asking what they did with it. So the next week when she's like, oh, no, it didn't quite work. I'm like, well, did you try what I mentioned? She's like, no, it wasn't going to work for me. She took your gift. She did with it what worked for her. It's not personal. But I would resist telling other people how to do things. But if you feel moved, you can offer what worked for you. Let them have it and let it go. Don't ask for coaching. Like I said, this goes both ways. So don't tell people what to do, please. I literally have had a woman mansplain to me for 15 minutes. she never asked, did I want to hear it or did I know what to do? Because I knew what I was doing with that particular thing. Anyway, don't give advice, but also don't ask for it. I've had people come to me and say like, well, I've got an accountability partner and she's like, doesn't know what to do. And she's asking me and I don't know how to help her because that's her goal. Don't ask your partner. Don't be like, oh, I tried and it didn't work and I don't know what to do. What do you think I should do? That's when you need to start sending them some money through Cash App or PayPal or whatever. That's a coaching role. This is not a coaching call. Don't ask your partner, because God forbid they give you advice and it's terrible and you try it and the things are worse and then you're going to blame them for their advice that didn't work. If you are stuck and you're like, it didn't work, I don't know how to move forward, I don't know what to do, then part of your plan for the next week is I need to look into resources to figure out how to do this. Or you can say, you know, I'm not sure what to do. Have you heard of anyone that's done this? Or have you tried this before? And if she tells you what she's tried before and you try it and it's worse than the thing that didn't work for you, don't blame her. You're the one that did it. Okay? So in general, I like to encourage people, no coaching during these calls. However, it happens anyway. I mean, people are like, oh, have you heard of this app? I'm like, oh my God, no, I'll write it down. I'll look it up. And then we move on. So those things happen anyway, but I want you to consciously try not to tell the other person what to do and really try not to ask them what you should do for your business, because that's when you need to start paying them, okay? All right, so but download the worksheets because they'll help you flow with your meeting. The third one, and this one's pretty quick, is when to let them go. So now sometimes this will be natural, right? So maybe you get an accountability partner to start 2021 off strong. So you're meeting for a quarter, right? You just want to into the new year. And so you're going to meet for 3 months. And you met, thank you so much. We're humming along great. You part ways. But then a lot of people that get together, like, I want to grow my team to this. And, you know, it just kind of, you just end up meeting forever. I've had quite a few accountability partners, and it is what it is. 6 months seems to be the max. It just is. Because here's what happens, okay? Like, let's say you chose your sister or your brother for your accountability partner. And a couple weeks in, you're like, oh my God, Nancy, I didn't do it. You know, this kid was busy and that kid. And she's like, oh, I know, my kid and this and that. I didn't get mine done either. Like, oh, whew. You know, and then we move on and we meet again the next week. And we love each other and know each other so much, we just give passes. We're like, no, that's good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That happens at 6 months. I mean, I've had male accountability partners, female accountability partners. After 6 months, you're like, oh, your wife again? I know. Or, oh, yeah, you keep saying this thing is getting in the way. And you just like them enough that you let it go. So really, a lot of times when you meet with the person, you know, it's important that they also understand no coaching, but it's also important they understand, like, let's do this for 6 months. And after 6 months, we can reevaluate and then see if we want to go 6 more months, or see if it's like, we're too comfortable with each other. Let's, you know, find different partners. Let's trade up. The other thing you might do when you're getting started, it's so much easier when you're getting started. And anyone who's been married, like, you know, if they do that weird thing where they, like, kiss your ear weird and you're like, oh, I hate that. If you tell them, like, right away, like, can you not kiss my ear that way? Because that's easy and it can stop. If you wait until you've been married for 15 years and suddenly you're like, could you not do that? And they're like, I've been doing this for 15 years. And then there's a lot of hurt feelings, right? Same thing with accountability partners, not the kissing the ear part, but when you get started, you might say, you know what? Let's try this for 3 meetings. And have an initial meeting and have a couple more meetings, and, like, let's just do this for 3. I mean, definitely I want to try for 6 months and then reevaluate. But just in case, because, like, I literally just met you on this Facebook group, why don't we have 3 meetings and see how it goes? You do your initial meeting, and you might right there go like, oh, and you're not sure, but then you meet again and you meet again, and you're like, oh, okay, this is working out. Because there's some, like, you know, bumps and hips and hip hopscotch, whatever, to get through to kind of get your groove, right? So just agree to meet for 3 times, and after 3 times, you might say, hey, and that literally will take you through both worksheets because the ongoing one is like good for 2 meetings. It kind of has space for that. So go through 2 worksheets worth and then be like, yeah, no, this is great. We're simpatico. Let's do this 6 months. But if you tell them up front, like, yeah, no, this would be great. I've got worksheets. We can share them. Our goals match. I know I'm not supposed to coach you. Like, I'm not supposed to tell you what to do. And yeah, they told me, like, you know, if we don't tell each other what to do, that works. How about we meet 3 times and kind of like see if this works, you know? And after 3 times, you're like, you know what? I've heard 6 months is the best time. Let's go for 6 months and then kind of reevaluate. But that way, there's not as much hurt feelings because it's harder after 3 times, and everyone's excited, and they're so excited, and they drive you. I haven't really had anyone drive me crazy, but for whatever reason, it doesn't work. They flake. They literally are only full of excuses. They've never once met any of their goals, and it drags on you because how can they hold you accountable? They can't even hold themselves accountable. They can't, nothing. The energy is wrong. It doesn't work. It's harder to say, like, I don't think this is working out because, okay, a lot of people kind of lie, and they'll say stuff like, oh, I'm too busy for accountability partner, so I can't be one anymore, so how about we just break up, and I'm so sorry. And then you go, like, in a different weight loss group for vegans, and you're like, hey, does anyone want an accountability partner? And you didn't know she was also a member of that group, and she's like, you literally just told me you didn't have time. So you want to break up in a way that allows you to go right out and look for another person. Because you're doing this because you need someone to hold you accountable. So let them know after 3 times, like, you know what, like, I really like you, and I love hearing about your Chihuahua. He is so adorable. Do you think we could remain, like, Facebook friends? And, you know, if you could send me pictures of your cute little Chihuahua, I love him, and send him pictures. But I think somehow we're just not, it's just, I need something a little different. It's not you. I mean, it's me, which I know. But the nicest way you can to let them go and find one that works for you, because it's critical. And because of how amazing accountability partners are, I don't want you to kind of like try it once and it sucked, and so like you just quit it and never do it again. Because I've had many accountability partners, and when it doesn't work, you let it go and you find one that's just like, and you kill it, and you both get to your goals. And that's what you're looking for. So if you don't find it the first time around, think of it like Match.com. Oh, we tried, it didn't work. Oh, we went on 3 dates, it didn't work. Boom. And now we've been married for like 2 years, right? So, well, marriages should go longer than 6 months. But anyway, those are the 3 things. How to find the right one. And if you can go back through this whole video, and if you didn't write it down, write down all the ways to make sure. Be upfront about your goal so that people you can find that, attract that better match, right? And then click on the link in the comments, whatever, to get those worksheets today. Your initial worksheet and your ongoing worksheet. And then this video is in my group From Goal to Go. So if, you know, someone shared and you got this link, be sure to click on the link to join From Goal to Go, because we don't just make goals, we take our goals and we go, right? And we act on them. And that's basically what accountability partners help you do. So thank you so much for making it all the way to the end. You're amazing, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.